You are now listening to Generation Rising.
Crises there will continue to be. In meeting them, whether foreign or domestic, great or small, there is a recurring temptation to feel that some spectacular and costly action could become the miraculous solution to all current difficulties.
You've made the worst concession already. You've already said you're a slave. So,
well, absolutely.
After that, mere obedience to orders is a small offense.
I readily admit that I'm a slave. I'm a slave of the Lord Jesus Christ.
And out of your chains.
Yeah. Well,
it's absolutely fine for you, but you must leave me out of it. I don't want to be told that I have to obey these laws too, or that my children have to be taught this in school, or that laws have to be written to gratify the bizarre beliefs of a cult like yours.
Well, but
that's the thing I would need you to understand. You're quite happy to believe this. Why can't you keep it to yourself?
Why can't you keep your atheism to yourself?
Because the religious won't allow me to. Because every time I open the paper, there's another instance of theocratic encroachment on free society, which I won't put up with which I will not put.
Well,
that's clear.
Episode 22 of Generation Rising is here, ladies and gentle bots, ladies and gentlemen. What the fuck? There's like 25 gender-neutral pronouns or some shit like that. That's fucking ludicrous. Whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, you're a human in my book. And welcome to this new episode. I have a new guest on. Levels is his name. You're going to hear some music here in a second. Phenomenal music. Played on his acoustic guitar. A nice little song for us. And after that, you're going to hear him introduce himself. And then you're going to hear me and him get into a good conversation. I've found him through a friend of mine. And he is an artist. And he recently himself just got back from Standing Rock with the victory down there. And he's also trying to do a movement that involves art and rehabilitation. So I opened up the floor to him. We had a fantastic conversation. He's a great person. And hopefully we can do some more work and more podcasts in the future. So with that being said, enough of me talking. I bid y'all adieu. Enjoy the show. Tell me what you think of it. Bye.
right, this is my name's Levels. I'm here with Dion, here doing a podcast. This is my first one. I come from Northwest Indiana. Valparaiso is the actual city. When I travel, though, I usually tell people I'm from the Chi-Town area.
How dare you? No, I'm just kidding.
No, we still got the Chi-Town too down here, man.
Oh yeah, dude. We're so close.
We're
We
so
are Chicago.
Yeah, we're rude. We're
not Indiana. We're not part.
We're still a bunch of rude assholes. Yeah, that was like a song that I used a lot busking, which is playing on the streets for money, like in downtown Denver is where I primarily did that. I didn't have to do it a lot because I didn't really need much. I was working primarily a lot there, but that song, it was just a quick little jam riff that I can like transform and evolve and make a good 35-minute, 40-minute jam session out of it by myself, just kind of working it different ways and letting it kind of be amorphous and whatever it wants to be, I guess. I don't know. It allows me to flow a whole lot of different emotions from different draws, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, you seem like a true artist to me. I mean, that reminds me, like, not to say that you remind me of certain artists, but you remind me of like a certain way an artist plays. Like, I don't know if you know John Butler Trio.
No, I don't.
He's a fantastic guitar player, and like he has this one song. It's called The Ocean, and every time he plays it for an audience, he plays it a different way, but it still has that same feeling to it. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like, you know. Like, that's The Ocean,
I totally get that.
So that's kind of what, and like, you know, he just, like I can see the resemblance in like how you treat that guitar. It's kind of like an instrument to express yourself, like through that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's.
How long you been playing for?
It's probably almost 20 years. I would say about 17, 18 in there somewhere.
Really?
Sometime in middle school, I got a bass guitar for Christmas, and that's what I started with. It was probably 6th or 7th grade, so whatever age you are around then. I don't want to think that hard right now. We can do the math later. But yeah, so that was about the start point. I started on bass. I pursued that for about a year and a half, and then I don't know, I guess I don't want to say I got bored with just 4 strings. I just wanted more. I wanted to do more chords. I was more attracted to the guitar. There was more to it, more avenues to go down. I felt like that I could express different things. So I got into that, and then I never took lessons. I just kind of I learned how to like play a few chords through a book, or like hanging out with friends that played guitar and stuff like that, and that kind of got me into metal, like death metal and stuff like that, because that's what my friends were into, metalcore, things like that.
Right on. That shit, for sure.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
So what were some of your major influences growing up, like musician-wise or even artist-wise? I mean,
growing up, Led Zeppelin was huge. Leonard Skinner was a big one. Ted Nugent. And that was once I started playing guitar. Prior to that, it was kind of... I didn't really have a particular interest in music. Like, I liked stuff that my uncle liked and things like that. Like, he gave me a big crate of cassette tapes of his, and it had, like, the Black Album by Metallica on there. And that was, like, one of my go-to albums, you know, growing up. That and, like, Skid Row, Slave to the Grind was another tape I remember playing all the time. And then Tesla, nice. Tesla was another huge one. That was one my mom got me into, for sure. That was her thing. She had a few. She was like a Kiss fan. I wasn't a big Kiss fan. We always, you know, the typical classic rock, you know, Tom Petty, like Stevie Ray Vaughan, stuff like that. You know, that whole spectrum.
Okay.
AC/DC, Black Sabbath. Not so much like Judas Priest or things like that. I do like them, but that's not like basically growing up here in the region, like 97.9. You know what I mean? That kind of rock.
We know that. Yeah,
yeah. Everybody knows the Loop. Yeah. So. And then like Q101, you know, I was a huge Nirvana fan all through high school. Kurt Cobain is like a huge idol for me, even today.
Hell yes, dude.
Growing up, it was a huge one for me. For guitar, he like totally changed my mindset because I grew up what I primarily played was like blues and stuff like that with my uncle when I first started learning guitar. So it was like Steve Ray Vaughan,
Best foundation
Ted
ever.
Nugent. Oh yeah,
for any
definitely.
guitar player,
Kenny
yeah.
Wayne Shepherd, stuff like that. Captain Beyond, Zeppelin. Again, Zeppelin was a huge one. Jimmy Page.
Fuck yeah.
Van Halen was another one. I always
really
tried
good.
to learn Van Halen stuff, but it was just way too intense for me, too
Yeah.
fast. It was just like, that's too much. I liked the free form, the flowy, kind of southern rock, blues-esque vibe, like with the Leonard Skinner and Led Zeppelin even. You know what I mean? They get those fucking
dude, give me bullets
just
and shit,
out
man,
there,
like, straight
just
up.
out there jam sessions, like the jam band-esque thing. But I
Yeah.
didn't get into jam bands until later in life, like Allman Brothers, which should have been like from day one, along with Leonard Skinner. But I never listened to Allman Brothers; it was always Skinner.
Yeah.
So and then Allman Brothers comes around, and it's just like a whole wake up. And then Clapton, I like renewed my guitar in the last year. I've really picked it up again because I
Nice.
dropped it for like almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Other than like just fucking around a little bit here and there, but
One of the coolest things about music, man, that I always love to talk about is the mere fact of like music. It transcends time. You know what I mean? Like you
yeah.
can, a kid like me can be introduced to Led Zeppelin at 8 years old and get the same enjoyment out of a person who's 50 years old and just listen to it for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And you guys are like, oh, we share a common interest. It's like a really deep language that can like transcends age, obviously time, health, culture, spectrum, and like that's such a beautiful thing because everybody, like, there's no order to the shit, right? I mean, shit,
Right.
you could have been introduced to jazz first, and then you went to this way, and then
Right.
everybody can choose their own individual path.
And the thing
it's so
is, like,
fucking
you
beautiful.
you say culture, and then like, oh my gosh, I used to be the same. I used to think the same thing. Like, you are literally only thinking in American culture music. You say blues, jazz, rock, metal, this, blah, blah.
Exactly.
That's only American. I mean, and that's
Hell yeah.
I mean. You get beyond that, there's so much
So much
more,
music
so
out
many,
there.
so many other just ways, instruments, like even, it's just mind blowing. Going to Standing Rock, it was like the coolest thing ever to just see the simplicity that they break it down to, with just the drum and vocals. But there's so much expression in it, so much emotion, so much more than anything you've heard on the radio could ever offer.
Absolutely.
You.
Yeah, I mean, the basic principles of that and their culture is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to talk about your trip in a little while and stuff. I mean, that's, one of the reasons why I wanted you on the show.
Yeah.
Obviously, my buddy Miggy, he talked about you a long time ago and about your chalk art.
Okay. Yeah.
And I want you to tell me more about that because, I mean, I really didn't get the full scale of it. He said he wanted me to talk to you.
Okay.
And,
okay.
yeah, so tell us about that.
That was just a little hobby. It's really all it is. It started with me like sitting outside the house when I had idle time, didn't have my kids, and I wasn't working, but I didn't have some big adventure to go on. So it was like I needed to create aside from my acoustic guitar and sitting by myself. I was basically had confined myself to Solidarity for a while, just doing some inner growth and work and really focusing on who I wanted to become or where I want to go and what I want to do with my life on a real broad spectrum, and taking aside from everything. I mean, that was like a good 1.5 year period.
Really?
That I'm just coming out of, in the last 8 months. I mean, it's the transition is
Yeah.
like happening as we speak,
Well, yeah, I mean, even let's talk about the whole chalk thing. Like,
Okay,
number
the
one, my
chalk thing.
chalk,
Sorry,
but
I get on
number
these
one is-
tangents,
no,
but
that's
yeah,
great.
it was like
But that
it was
even
like
in itself, like we were
yeah.
talking about, it kind of transcends age, right? Because I bet the kids
Yeah.
fucking love it.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
It's
That's what
something I
kids
can
love
do
to
with
do,
them,
and
and
then
that's
you can
what
do that
that's what
with
it started
adults
with. Was doodling for the kids and things like that. And then like I'd be bored and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna draw a flower for when my daughter comes over. That way she comes over and it's like, oh, this cool big beautiful flower on the wall for you. And like,
Yeah.
because I don't get to see her all that often, so I really try to make my time with her count.
Right, I know,
like
hell yeah, man.
really make it count. And so yeah, I started doodling that, and it just I don't know. There was something soothing in layering the colors and layering and just expanding on it. And I had like within a few weeks of starting to really draw, and I had never really drawn by hand before. I had always done graphic design and stuff on the computer, but it just expanded. I had over a few weeks, I had like literally covered the entire front porch of my house and things like, and halfway
Hell
down the
yeah.
retaining wall and all that stuff. Which those are some of my pictures that are up on my Instagram and my Facebook and stuff.
Now, what did this have to do? Did this have to do with like alcoholics, recovering addicts, or something like that? Or?
No, it's what it is it's. I found in my sobriety that there's a need to express yourself always, and I always would dull that with drinking. So, in place of that, instead of saying, "Oh, I'm bored, I'm gonna go, get a beer, whatever," I try to find other things. I have to create and produce something, and so that I feel productive. So that's what it started with, and then I don't know.
Do you see any assimilations between like? Have you ever seen like the Buddhist monks and how like they do that sand thing?
Yes, the mandalas.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Mandala,
and that ties in with. I'm glad you brought that up because that's where I was going with this, and then I kind of lost my train of thought. It's,
hey, it happens to me
forgive
all the
me.
time.
Yeah.
20-year-old dementia.
The sidewalk chalk, it's temporary, very temporary. You know what I mean?
Okay,
and the same thing with the Buddhist monks and the mandalas. They create the sand mandalas and then they destroy them. They're meant to be temporarily enjoyed. But it's an expression, and then it's meant to be. The universe is like to take the expression back. So the universe is expressing itself through the Buddhist monk to create the mandala. But then it's also the universe expressing itself through sand. So the sand is meant to dissipate. So it's
and then they take it to a stream and shit. They like pour in the stream.
Yeah,
it's so fucking beautiful.
it's like, and it's the expanding that they put their energy, their vibration, their intent into that sand, and then they spread. And that's how it spreads, and that's how you
it's supposed to go on the world, like kind of like energy or something.
Yeah,
like that,
exactly. I mean, and that's to that's the way that I kind of interpret it. I mean, their belief or whatever. Don't quote me on saying I'm a Buddhist or I know that or anything. That is kind of my interpretation of the way that I see the world and what they're doing and how it relates to the.
So that's what was the cool thing about chalk growing is that or chalk writing or drawing. Sorry. You seen it as that, like you do a big mural and then you wash it away.
Yeah, well,
but
I don't know.
Like the first one where you're like, "Fuck, man!" Like,
well, the first one it was on a wall that would only kind of get rained on. So it didn't go anywhere. I got to continuously work on it. It would get faded a little bit, but the outline was there, so I got to, and that's where I kind of built up my like knowing how to layer colors and things like that to get the different effects that I do in my later murals.
Yes,
because this is like, I feel like. It came really naturally to me. I practiced not that long and was able to do these big murals that actually look way better than I expected them to. Like, I did not expect my Cosmic Crow in front of the Philly cheesesteak shop in Denver to turn out the way that it did. It was huge, and I don't know. I'm still in awe that I created
cool,
that.
Man.
You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons why I do it, because it's like I did one before that at home, and it was like 14 feet wide. And it was a mockingbird, and I spent like a whole day on it. And when I was done, I was like, I can't believe I just did that. Like I set my mind to it and did it, and it came out beautiful, And so I guess that's what keeps drawing me back to it is I see it as a challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they come out and they're better than I expected. It's like, well, why should I stop?
Yeah, right.
Obviously, I'm into, I'm catching a good groove here for something that I need to be doing.
Yeah.
The universe is trying to express itself through me, and this is what's coming naturally and happening, and so that's why I go with it.
Well, you talk about your self-expression through your chalk drawings as a way to liberate yourself from the whatever abuse you were going through, or
it was kind of like a in place of drinking. It's not an in place of drinking thing, but it's when you quit drinking, or the way that I had to go through it and beat my addictions, because it wasn't just drinking. I had been addicted to opiates in the past, and then basically from kindergarten to my junior year in high school, I was prescribed ADHD medications, everything from Ritalin to Adderall and stuff like that. So I was a meth head. You know what I mean? I was a predetermined dosed meth head for a good part of my growing up.
It's so fucked up that they give kids that.
It really is. Like, I don't even want to get into that. We'll get on.
That's a whole other episode.
But let's get. But going through all that, like you're growing up. All right, let's stay on it for a second, so I can explain how this ties into the chalk art.
Okay.
Growing up and going through that, taking those medications, you learn to process emotions differently than a person that doesn't. So this is the addict's mindset that people don't seem to understand. Is when I'm growing up and you're going through your preteens, your prepubescent, your all that, adolescence, all that stuff, you're tweaked out. You are like tweaked out on meth, and you know what I mean, to a certain extent. It sounds, I'm putting it in terrible terms.
No, you're explaining it perfectly. You're not over explaining it.
Okay.
You're explaining it really.
True, you're trying to learn how to deal with like love and authority and this, that, and the other. Schools,
for the first time. For the
first
time,
and you're tweaked out, and our parents didn't have this, our grandparents didn't, so they don't really understand like why when we get off these medications, or why we have such a hard time dealing with emotions in the real world. It's like we were on drugs, literally from a doctor prescribed us drugs our entire childhood while we were learning how to be an adult, and now you want us to like function like a normal adult in society. It makes it really hard for us. So dealing with addiction, that's like what you're dealing with.
Fuck, man.
Is how to deal with emotions because you missed out on it when you were supposed to learn it. So I almost sound like pleading a case or
No. You're explaining a good focal point that I've yet to hear, but it makes perfect sense. It makes absolute perfect sense. I mean, like just being a regular teenager, say just for example, let's just give an example of your average middle class home, strict parents, no drugs allowed, and you're trying to deal with it in upstanding. But even those, like, people really don't understand, like, emotions are extremely difficult, and you can go through your whole life being terrible at dealing with emotions, and you can still make it, like, to be
but you're an asshole.
But you're still an asshole.
Yeah, and
you still don't know how to love.
Exactly.
You don't know how to deal with your sadness. But you're putting kids legitimately on a drug. This is completely like correct. You're putting them on a drug, and you're hoping the outcome is going to be okay. Yeah. But where's the data to prove that this has been okay before? You know what I mean? And now everybody wants to shove this shit on you, like, oh, it's your fault. You're just a bad person.
And it's not even. I mean, I was on antidepressants too. I mean, it's the same thing. It just affects you in a different way. But to get back to that, so like dealing with emotions, one of the things I do is you express yourself. You have to, and whatever medium's necessary. Talking, like having this conversation is like reiterating the things that I already know, but it's like reminding myself of them. So I feel like this is therapeutic for me and myself.
Hell yeah,
just on my own spiritual growth path, and then putting this out here, the information and this opinion, my point of view from inside, especially with this addiction struggle that we have in this world today, to have someone to really just lay it out there and say, yeah, I'm an addict. I had some crazy shit happen. I've been through it. I'm here, but I'm here to do good.
Yes.
I'm here to help others, to help other addicts feel empowered, the ones that are in recovery and trying to do well, so that, I don't know.
You're saying something like completely on point. I'm so glad I get to even have this conversation. I've been waiting to have this conversation. I just don't know. I didn't know how to bring it about. That's the beauty about something like this. It can bring me into different avenues, right?
And it seems like such a sensitive subject to people. And
but it needs to be broadcasted.
But it needs to be treated as it is. It is an epidemic, and we need to be.
But it needs to be understood, right? I always say this on my podcast all the time. The major solutions to any of the world problems is not bombs, it's books, it's education, right?
Right.
It's the way to educate somebody, to teach somebody. And we look at drug addiction in this country. Now, I don't know, because I've never been to, other countries, blah, blah. So I'm speaking of our country. For some reason, it's been like this for a long time. We view it as like a crime. Like you're a criminal because you're smoking crack. Or you're a criminal because you snort coke. And it's like, a lot of these people, like, it should be labeled as like a mental illness because they need to be. They need to be kind of
like when you go into it with like legality and insurance claims and employment and stuff like that. Because that's what I went through. I was working at a steel mill and I was a union job, so I mean, it's looked at it as a mental illness in that aspect.
Okay.
But it's
very
like they don't understand it. Like they don't understand, or they're unwilling. Coming out of an addiction and really getting through it takes a lot of like admitting your own faults and just having an open mind and being open to criticism and you have to be accepting of more than what you've thought your whole life because it's not working. It didn't work.
Yes,
you know what I mean? So you have to change it. So you have to like, I don't know where I was going with this.
No. Yeah. Okay, hold on, because I kind of lost it too. But
we keep getting on these crazy side tangents.
No, we were kind of the same, but we're in another state right now, and
this is a lot of my deep inner thoughts that I don't have anyone to discuss this stuff with.
But this is the beauty, like I said.
So
about
it's like a lot of stuff that I think, and then it's like. So I'm thinking
a lot. The trajectory of recovering as an addict, right? Yeah. We were talking about it need to be viewed as a certain sense because it seems like the people who are sheltered in this country view it as like a scary thing, like you're a bad person, and it's like you're not a fucking bad person. Like you're addicted to sugar, you're addicted to caffeine, and that's okay because that's
Right.
legal.
Right, it's
But
okay.
since
It's okay to be a
since you're on
dick in
crack-
the morning until
and
you
who-
have your cup of coffee.
Exactly, and
because
then
it's
and
legal.
then and then look at this. It's like a lot of these people, and I don't know, they probably majority of the time, I guarantee you, they come from the religious sect of this country, but that can be debated. But a lot of the times they're like, oh fuck, like they want to smoke crack. Like who wants to fucking smoke crack?
No,
Who gets up in
that's
the morning
drugs
and
that
shoot
take
heroin?
over.
Like you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I really want to do this. No,
Right.
they have a fucking problem.
Right.
And the way to solve the problem is not to put them in a jail cell and like create a fucking rap sheet.
Right, because
problem
I
is to
mean, it
understand
gets them
them.
clean. It physically gets them clean, but then they still have the same way of thinking.
Yeah,
you know?
but
and
jail
then,
is just,
and then
you
they
know.
get out, and some of them are successful. They stay clean and this and that, but it's for the wrong reasons. It's out of
Absolutely.
fear, and that's not what it needs to be out
Yeah.
of. It needs to be out of love or compassion
Well, we were talking about self-expression, which you found.
self-expression. Yeah.
And I talk about that a lot. I did a whole episode on Bruce Lee, and he was the ultimate self-expression artist. You know what I mean? Told the world, walk your own path, fight your
Yeah.
own fight, do your own thing. If it works well with you, do it.
Right.
If it's good energy, it's positive to the world, why the fuck would you not do it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But people, like, they live in that whole bubble of, like, fear and contempt and anxiety and
Yeah.
depression
Yes.
and all this stuff. And drastically, it afflicts everybody across the spectrum of humanity.
It does.
It's not
yeah.
just, you're black, so you're the only people that suffer depression. No, it's not that. Every person, we all have this. So, like, technically, like, we're going to talk about later, is like, we're all kind of the same,
Yeah.
And we shouldn't focus on the differences. We should focus on the similarities, because that's how you
Right.
move forward.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, absolutely.
So let's talk about so Standing Rock. I've talked about this on plenty of times. I really truly felt and I feel to this day that this was the biggest fight of our time.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just drastically misunderstood and maybe just
Not
held
so
completely
much-
out of context, right?
Not so much anymore. It's not.
It's
so,
coming out, right?
I don't believe that it is so much misunderstood anymore by the general public. I feel like around Thanksgiving, like right when it got hot, with the whole everything going on, and me and Miguel decided to go out there. It was right when the veterans were coming out, and that's what really pushed it in front of to where the media had to report it because they had to at least try and keep them. They were at that point they were reporting it to keep themselves accountable.
Yeah,
you know
to
what I mean?
make themselves look like badgering idiots.
Because
yeah.
if they had missed it, if they had missed that at that point with the veterans' involvement, like people would be like, "What the heck, man?
You're
This is
anti-American.
definitely-
You can't do that.
So, not even just anti-American, just people with common sense, like people with even the littlest bit of common sense would be like, okay, this is too much,
Something notable. Yeah.
It hit a lot of people in that way. Like this is it. This is where I draw the line. Standing Rock drew the line. So do I. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it was. Because it was. I called it. I called it the cornucopia causes because I mean there was
Very nice.
it was primarily the Standing Rock Sioux tribe that was standing up, but as people got more and more involved and more things were happening, it was people for all different types of causes, from environmentalist stuff to human rights because of the way that the water protectors were being treated, sovereignty rights, people, just anything you could think of, it was there. Police brutality, corporate greed, you name it. It's
So
there was
right.
a reason
That's
to
a
be there.
perfect
So
cornucopia.
yeah,
I love
there was.
that.
I met a guy, Dan, who flew in from London. He's a human rights law
Nice.
student. He's living in Amsterdam. He's from the UK, or he's from London. Flew in and hitched a ride to get there, or hitched his way in from the Bismarck airport to get there to see it, to be a part of it, to do his part, be of use. And I mean it's that big, I guess, that it's drawing people from around the world, not just not just the U.S. It's that intense.
And so I'm so glad you got to go, man. I've used a true hero, honestly, man. I mean, you're down the front lines for the victory. I mean, even though you didn't put in all the work, and there's so many other people that were involved, obviously, but I got to give you respect. I thank you for going down there to represent me. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. And then, for my children, I mean, it's you're a water protector. What the fuck is wrong with that? That should be number one. That should be number one.
It's.
But what made you go there? What was like the fucking tipping point? Like, nah, dude, I'm just going out there, man. It's over. Me and Miggy, we're going. We're going, Miggy.
Okay, I'll just start with how I even found out about it, because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't find out about it through a social media post. I didn't find out about it through a news report or anything like that. I found out about it literally driving through Bismarck.
No shit.
And
on the way back here or to there?
No, I went out to Denver, and I was working a job that was traveling, and I was hitting all the states right around there. So I was running Denver's a whole nother story, so I'll get into that. But I was working a job that put me on the road, and they were paying for my hotels and stuff. So I ended up in Bismarck, and I saw the protests there on the ground. I saw not right at the drill pad or anything like that. That's right by the camp. This was up like 60 miles north in Bismarck, where they were protesting out in the city, in front of the Capitol or whatever it was. And I started to look into it because I was on the road. I didn't get to ask anyone or anything like that. I just happened to see it and was like, what the heck,
Yeah.
So I look into it and I see it's the Standing Rock Sioux tribe standing up to protect their treaty lands, and I'm like, holy crap, man, what is going on here? Like, this is crazy that this is still happening in our day and age. Like, I was like oblivious to like the oppression that was still happening. And then I've been in a inner reflection period for a very long time.
Yes.
Like close to 18 months.
Okay.
So I had literally closed off from a lot of that because a lot of it was causing me anxiety and stress and things like that. So I couldn't focus on what I needed to focus on
to build yourself up.
Right.
That's
If
great.
I had not been in that inner reflection period, I would never went to Standing Rock. So I mean,
There you go. It played a part.
yes, exactly.
Played a
I mean,
part.
absolutely. So I found out about it through that, and I lightly followed it, over the months. That was, like I said, in like August, I want to say, that I was going through there and found out about it. So Thanksgiving's rolling around, and I finally see one on a social media post. I think it was on Facebook. I saw a No Dapple hashtag and clicked on it. And I was like, oh, I remember that. I hadn't thought about it in quite some time, and I look, and I was like, holy crap. All the tribes are standing together as one against this, and I was like, I gotta find out what I'm supposed to be doing, because
Nice.
and it was so weird because like I was talking to my employer at the time about something coming up, and I like felt this. He asked me a question about me sticking around or something like that, and I felt this like pang in my chest, and I didn't understand why. And then like 20 minutes later, that article popped up, and I read it, and it was Cherokee are standing with the Sioux tribe, and I was like, okay, I know I have Cherokee blood in me. What does this mean? Why did I have that serious pang in my heart, and why is this article now popping up after?
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, it just hit me, you know what I mean? It was like, okay, I got to look into this. It was something that it's just like, it's your intuition, and it's like full force. You can't ignore it. If you do, you're an idiot. You
Right
know what
on.
I mean?
Like, yeah.
So I look
Okay,
into
okay.
it. I look into it, and I've never, my family never really looked into their heritage with the Cherokee and stuff like that. And like if we were federally recognized or anything like that, I don't think the tribe that I came from was.
Okay.
It was a Cherokee tribe. My great grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee. So whatever, like I said, we never looked into what it does. From what I was told when I got to Standing Rock is we're all relatives. It doesn't matter. Whatever little bit of blood you have in you is still blood,
Hell yeah,
here
man.
in spirit. So,
So going there, did okay, so we're still in the part of you picking up and you're like, I gotta go, right?
yeah. So I see that article and so I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I just feel like I have to go. I have to go. I felt like that before when I was there, like I should be a part of this, but I was working and all this.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I should at least
Show your support in some way.
Yeah.
Right?
So then I found out, that I wanted to go. So I had asked him if he wanted to go, and we were like, yeah, let's do it. Like whatever it takes, no matter what. We'd even joked about like stealing a car because a person that we had were gonna ride with ended up falling through. So it's like, oh man, what are we gonna do? Both our cars are like not really ready to go on a road trip or live out of while we're in North Dakota. So we were like, oh, we're gonna steal a car. Well, I was like, nah. We ended up taking his car, which is a very small car, and just camping out of it, setting up a small little tent to hold our stuff in. But I mean, it was just, and he felt the same way. Like when I contacted him, I was like, man, we gotta go. I feel like I have to go. And he's like, I want to go so bad. He's like, I feel like I need to do this. Like I need to be there.
Yes.
This is something I need to be a part of.
Yes.
And so it was literally just on that. I mean, we went to school together, and I've known him for years. But we've like been in brief contact on and off over the years, just here and there. Nothing major, like real close or anything, but always, been on good terms, everything like that. But then it was like this came about, and it was like, all right, dude, it's like, here's that feeling like we've always had, like since we've known each other, like we're gonna do something cool one day together. You know what I mean?
There you go, man. That's
like
awesome.
this is it. This is our time. It's our call to action. Like, let's go, homie. Like,
right on, man. That's the best way too, man.
We packed up and there we went. We planned it for like 3 or 4 days before we left, and then packed up our stuff. Like, packed super light, just what we felt like we needed, and off we went.
So tell me about the community, man, because this is what I'm fascinated by, right? Is the mere fact of like this many people can come in and be like completely in on one accord.
Let me get that.
And you know what I mean, like in involved in some way of shit. I completely trailed off topic, but that's cool.
Yeah, it's all right. That's me. It's all right.
It's okay. We're good. We're good. Anyway, so the mere fact of like the community involvement, like, so you go down there. Tell me your first experience, man. Tell me. Let's tell heart to heart. What did this mean to you, man? What did this mean to you to see people act in such accord? Did you believe that this was possible? Shit, I don't know. I'm just asking the question, right?
And you can post date it. You can if you want to reference my Facebook. I hate to toot my own horn, man. I called it over a year ago. I started preaching about the revolution like some crazy dude that's like lost his mind. Like, it's coming, the gathering of the people. We're gonna come together, and we're gonna, it's gonna be the way it should be.
And so you believe that this is the call. This
is absolutely it. I've been having the dream. Okay, I've been having a dream for the better part of 5 years, and really intense since I quit drinking. So the last 2 years, recurring dream of like standing around a fire and just feeling. I've always described it as a post-apocalyptic-esque type of feeling, not like death and destruction everywhere, but just like no modern amenities. We're back to like heated by fire, living out of shanty towns, that type of thing. Like a complete collapse, post-collapse of everything we know as normal day to day.
Which wouldn't take that much, really.
Right? Yeah, we're close to it, but that's a whole nother. It's coming. It's going to happen eventually. I already know that, so I don't pay attention to when. I just get ready for when it comes.
Okay.
Which Standing Rock proves that we can do it. That's the affirmation that we as a society are capable of doing it, because they're still doing it. You know what I mean? So it's there. It's possible. We can do it as a people, and the amount of people that are getting involved in this now, it's possible that we could do it. Within the next 12 to 18 months, I think as a general populace, there will be enough people on the idea set to maybe migrate to this type of living.
Right on.
That it would be possible to do it and make a real, true movement
out of it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing that I was really excited about, man. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of knew that it was just like a big campsite. You know what I mean? I knew that off topic from what I was reading on the internet and stuff and researching and all that. But when you posted, man, that you were building fucking schools, because, like, you're like, dude, they're staying there, man. They're fucking staying there, dude. I was, like, fucking so happy, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was like, these people, dude, like, they don't even give a fuck what anybody says. They're staying. This is their land. Go ahead and kill them if you want to. This is how it's going to end. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, that's absolutely how they
and
saw
that's
it.
amazing. I was so excited, dude. I was like, I have to go down there and build schools. Like, I just felt like I needed to do that. You know, I didn't do that.
That was their plans. Now, I don't know if things have changed from that. They did get a lot accomplished. I don't know how plans have changed since the veterans deployment and all that, because all that veterans barracks that they built can be converted to the schools and stuff like that. So I think that is what they were referring to, is that these barracks that we're putting up to get ready for the veterans, when the veterans leave, it's going to become the schools for the children that are still there, the bigger medical facilities, the things like that, bigger mess halls, more permanent stations, because they're building them, right. They actually have a ton of people there to help and do it, and all the materials they need, versus like the ones that are up now are kind of shanty townish still. They were the ones put up when there was less people there, the mess halls that they have. I mean, the media has misreported. I just want to touch on this real quick. The media has misreported the size of the camps by so much, it's ridiculous. I would say they're reporting maybe half of what's actually there, or what was actually there when we were there. There's 7 mess halls in Oseti-Sakowin camp alone. 7. So you figure each of those are able to serve 500
Really? 500 people?
500, 600 people, easy.
Really?
I mean, the lines would be halfway down the block. There was, if you pull up the satellite image, the place is massive. And at the point that we were there, it was almost like it was full. It was right around Thanksgiving, just post-Thanksgiving. There was still a lot of people there, and they said that there was even more people there before we got there, and that about half of them had left. They had like close to 15,000 people there over the Thanksgiving weekend. And what I heard, and that was just Oseti-Sakowin. There's still 2 other camps, Rosebud and Sacred Stone, that are about half of, combined, they're about as big as Oseti-Sakowin.
Okay.
So, so there was probably, close to 15,000 people there. At one given point in Oseti-Sakowin, which would mean that there's probably just as much at the other 2, maybe more, because that was the part of those 2 camps are the ones that were deemed not still on the reservation, so that they couldn't come and evict you and make you move. So a lot of people that stayed there too because they didn't want to come and be potentially harassed by the police for being on the other property where Oseti-Sakowin is on the treaty land. It's on the other side of the river. And that's where the eviction notice was put for. Yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up, man. That's really important. Yeah. Very important to know.
So I mean, I didn't get to visit the other 2 camps. You can see them across the river. They're massive. We drove.
You can clearly see them.
Yeah, I mean they're like, I don't know. It's hard to judge distance. I would say 800 yards away, and it's a floodplain. It's all flat.
Oh,
so, I mean,
shit.
and then there's the hills in the background, and some of them are burial grounds and stuff like that. That are all right there by the camp and stuff. It's a sacred ground that 7 generations ago the tribes gathered there and had this same kind of meeting over a similar kind of thing, and they prophesized this one 7 generations ago. That's the story of the rainbow prophecy.
Right on. Okay.
Which a lot of people like to discredit that and say it's a myth from a book in a 1986 book called The Rainbow Warriors, which it refers to this exact prophecy because the author actually studied with these tribes and stuff. Okay. So he wrote a story and pulled some of that, and put it in his story. So then they had these hippie kids or whatever they call them, the Rainbow Gathering kids, that go and do the Rainbow
Indigo Children. Does that have anything to do with that or
no? No, that's a whole different thing. We'll get on that another day. That one's a good one though too. Indigo Children and the Rainbow Children. I guess you know what? Now that you mention that, it actually is probably the same thing.
Really?
Just prophesized through a different
way.
Different medium. You know what I mean? Okay. It's still the universe. That's why I say the universe. I mean, whether it's Christianity, Buddhism, Native American tribe, like whatever it is, whoever they believe the creator is, it's still like the same prophecies coming through a lot of them.
Very true.
You look at like Christmas and Jesus and all that stuff and Jesus' birthday, and you pull it from other ancient
it's the same shit.
Ancient religions, and it's the same story. It's like it's another story being told a different way.
Exactly.
That's why I just say the universe, because I mean, to each their own. Whatever makes you a better person, however you need to do it to get in touch with your spiritual self.
Okay.
I'm an omniist. I take what I feel suits me out of whatever. I mean, I take a little bit out of Buddhist, I take a little bit out of Christianity, a little bit out of this, a little bit whatever I feel rings with me and in alignment with what I feel.
That's exactly what Jeet Kune Do, which was Bruce Lee's martial art. That's exactly what that taught.
Okay.
Whether it was in philosophy or in the fighting arts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he was trying to break that mold. Like, we don't have to fight, kung fu against kung fu. Like, I can fight you in, Muay Thai or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what do you mean? It was probably a breaking down of barriers, and I guess this can be completely correlated to what you're talking about right now. Because, I mean, you look at it from, this is just how it was done before. And it's done in this way.
Right.
And you can't be the best fighter unless you go through me. And, he's like, nah, man, fuck that. Like, I can take your shit, and I can make it my own, and I can kick all your asses. You know what I mean?
Right.
In a similar way, and that's kind of a similar fashion of what we're talking about even with this. That correlates with that.
Yes, yeah. And I kind of have that ideal set with everything through my life at this point, and that leads back to, like, the work I do with addictions and my little project that I'm just getting started with called the Mockingbird Project, which is kind of like take from whatever type of sobriety program, whatever works for you, and apply it to get through life.
So that's the project that we wanted. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the Mockingbird Project.
Well, we need to get that out there. I want to help you out in any way possible with that.
That is like kind of like taking from stuff from AA and NA that works worked for me, but at the same time leaving the
Doesn't
stuff
correlate
behind.
to somebody else.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then for some people the program works. It works for me if I want to only be at a certain level of spiritual growth and accept that this is all it's going to be. Some people are okay with that. I'm not. I want more. I want more. I want to be closer to a safer state of mind. I feel like sometimes they get into a fear-based program in there where you're fearful of everything.
Yeah.
And I don't
ever correlate with anybody, really.
That doesn't align with me. No, I refuse at this point anymore to let my life be dictated by fear.
That's amazing, and I wish a lot more people thought like that, because the world would be way better.
Yeah,
place.
I just, and if I find myself fearful, like that's what a lot of my work, my inner work is, or inner
to get that out or something.
If I find myself fearful of things, just find out why, like dig into it.
Oh
and face it and attack it. Not attack it in a bad way, but figure out how to absolve it and turn it to where I can express through it.
That's a very good point, and I don't know if you know anything about Carl Jung's work. He was a psychotherapist. He was Sigmund Freud taught a lot of Carl Jung work, and Carl Jung, like Sigmund Freud, the Freud theory had this theory of like every problem that you ever have, whether it be anxiety issues, anger issues, is all stemmed from sexual behavior, right?
Yeah.
And so everything's depicted as a penis or this and that or a vagina, everything, in artwork, whatever it is, it has something to do with that. Well, Jung took it to a different part. He took it to a different way, and he this is how I found out about mandalas. Like he would do one mandala a day. Mm-hmm. Just in his emotional state of how it looked to him in however way.
Yeah.
And, he always taught, especially when uncovering, like, certain anxieties or fears, he would always try to go through people's dreams and try to interpret. That's where the modern interpretation of dreams comes from, is a lot of Carl Jung's work.
Right.
And, in that belief, what you're talking about right there is trying to find out what that fear is. Like, when you're running down a hall, like, we've all been there, we're running away from something. We just can't get away from it.
Right.
And he always would try to teach people that whatever you feel is trying to get you, if you can just find some way to just face that up, he says all of it disappears. It transforms into something else. It's not what you think it is. When you take a look at it, it is what it is.
I've dealt with sleep paralysis, and I posted an article about it recently, and how it works, because some people experience it and they only know how to talk about it or whatever, explain it or whatever, and it's like, sleep, you fall asleep and then you wake up but you can't move, and if a lot of people feel like they're dealing with a dark entity and something very fearful, you can't move, so you're super scared. Mm-hmm. And I found the way that I beat that was literally, I had to look at that entity and say, come at me, motherfucker.
Like,
I'm
not scared of you.
Exactly. And I felt like it was in the corner of the room, like back there, and I felt like it came at me and like got real close to my face, and then it left, and I haven't had one since.
Right on.
I don't know what it was. I don't know. But
just face up, it helps you grow into it. Right?
It's kind of like
instead of ignoring certain things, instead of try to figure it out, like you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Figure it out. What is this? I need to get this out of me. If I got to express it through guitar or an art form or a picture, I have to get this out. And that's good. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the problems, shit in my daily life is caused from just being, let me put it off. You know what I'm saying? Or let me not think about that right now. Let me wait till it's time to think about it. We're all trying to put it off just because we want to live peacefully, which is okay.
Well, but at the same time, you end up stressing yourself out about trying to deal with things when you're not able to. You also have to be able to process whether or not you can immediately deal with that current issue, or if it needs to go on the back burner and you deal with something else. And that comes with everything in life, from emotional problems to your day-to-day life,
job duties and all that shit. Critical thinking, that's basically what it just comes down to.
Do what you can with what you can, and don't stress about what you can't do
anything
about.
Yes, absolutely. That's a very good point. Now, we completely left the tribe, but that's okay, man. Because I really feel like
go back to, like, okay, let's go back to the dreams. Fire. Let's go. Yes, okay, that's where I want to go back to. The dream.
We're feeling each other. We got this little energy going on.
Yeah. Here it is. This is all of it too. This is what it's gonna. We were literally having a conversation about the same kind of energy around this fire.
Oh shit. Okay. Right.
What I had that recurring dream over and over, and then I'm standing there at the fire talking with this guy. His name was Dylan, and I'm talking with him about dreams and deja vu, or not. I was talking to him about dreams and feeling this connection with everyone here and this draw, and then everyone's on the same energy. There's, a lot of telepathy type, like, whoa, dude, like, that's weird. You just read my mind. Like, and people actually announcing it and saying, and acknowledging that it's happening. Like, hey, we are interconnected on something beyond our language and body language. We are like, eye contact. People are like big into the, and you don't have to
say a word.
Yeah, exactly. And it's And that was that dream that was like post-apocalyptic-esque, but you tie that in, that post-apocalyptic feeling with the way that they're operating at the camp. They're running on, firewood and porta potties, you know what I mean? So you're hardcore roughing it, shantytown. That is post-apocalyptic-esque feeling, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
So I'm standing there talking to Dylan about, this connection and this energy and this vibe that everyone there is on. And I literally am like, wow, I'm having deja vu right now, man. And this is this dream that I've been having. And so I'm standing there.
Dude,
and
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I was like floored. I didn't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just like, okay, here's another huge confirmation that I'm on the right path. You know what I mean? The dreams have been coming to me, leading me to this. And here I am. And boom, it clicks.
It makes sense now.
Yeah. So then it was like, that's when I figured out why I was at Standing Rock. And then it was... that night they had one of the speakers was on, and he said, we've got the veterans coming and this and that, and after they come, once this kind of dissipates and people start going home, I want you guys to go home and spread the word and do your work from home, be of use from home. And that's one of the principles that they preach there, is to be of use. Whether you're standing there with your thumb up your butt, go shovel snow. We just got 2 feet of snow dumped on us. Go wash dishes. Go help cook. Whatever I mean. And that's what everyone's doing. Everyone's like, hey, you need work, or hey, man, what can I do? Do you need help with something? Man. Everybody's doing something. And that's why it happened. That's why it was able to be done. Everyone came there with that same mentality.
Yes.
Of,
And that's what I was talking about with Dr. Eve when I had her on the show last week. It was like, there's this huge notion that's pushed on us, and I really don't know, I can't pinpoint where it's coming from. It's just one of those things that's just in the air of America at all times. It's the mere fact that if anything happened, your best friend or your neighbor would become instantly your enemy. Yeah. And we live with that notion to a base out of fear, that's why we all stay in each other's house. But I mean, you go back in time and communities were communities. Everybody hung out together, everybody ate together, friends were friends for life.
We've lost touch
and we've lost
everything.
So bad. You go down the street anytime, any place in the night, everybody's either on their cell phones or they're inside watching their TV. And we've all become so disconnected from one another where we feel fearful of one another. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when the fucking shit hits the fan or whatever, the only people that we truly have to depend on are one another. And I really truly believe that there might be shitty people right now, but when shit hits the metal, man, you lose a lot of that ego. When suddenly you don't got that $25 an hour job, and you're like, hey, bro, I need fucking gasoline, man. You got any gasoline? Because the gas station is there to fucking give me my money.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Life's got way too easy, and that
was one of the great things about my trip to Denver was I ended up running around with a band of van vagabonds, a bunch of rubber tramps, as we call ourselves. That's what I pretty much am. We live out of our vehicle, we'll work a job or whatever, but we live out of the vehicle. We don't want to, we're home free, not homeless.
Right on.
But that's another long topic we can get into another day.
Right on, man.
But what I was learning was, you really get to know someone and know a person when you meet them and you're literally standing there with them in front of everything that they possess. It's not about material things. It's not about your van with your little refrigerator. Everyone's just kind of doing their thing. Everyone has just a little bit. It's about the connection with people, being there for one another. Hey, I'm cooking tonight. You come over. I'll cook you some food out on the camp stove. And then they cook for you the next night or whatever. Yeah, that's just the basic. It's almost like hippie commune-esque. You know what I mean? Kind of like that kind of vibe. Like we take care of one another. We're all, we look out for one another.
All brothers.
Yes,
you transfer your personal beliefs are transferred in this moment. You know
what
I mean? Like that's why I always
we're
feel,
all here as one. We're all here fighting the same fight. We're all here. Yeah.
I don't fucking.
And then so then Standing Rock was that times 1,000.
That's what. Yes.
And it was incredible.
And I'm so sad I didn't get to witness that, man. But I mean, that had to be a life-changing
event. What? It's not over. That's the thing. It's not over.
Okay. Yes, exactly. Sorry.
A big part of it has moved to downtown Los Angeles. A big part of the movement is there, and they've joined forces with the Bernie Sanders Brigade, and they're marching against. They're trying to organize a rally right now to get Los Angeles to stop doing business with Wells Fargo Bank, who is one of the investors in the pipeline.
Fucking love that.
So that's what they're rallying for now. They also have one coming up for January 2nd, which is the No Dapple March in Los Angeles. That's going to be huge. I want to be there, but I feel like I have to do some self stuff too. Like I went and did my time.
There's no problem
giving
with that.
Everything I could to Standing Rock while I was there. So, and then I have, I'm finding my balance of
Yeah.
giving myself to others and to my
Giving
community.
yourself, you have to.
And,
That's
yeah,
healthy. That's balance,
absolutely.
right? Isn't anything balance?
Oh, cool. Thank you.
So I mean, let's okay. So to get into this topic, right? This was all about standing in the way of literally. This is why I believe it's the most important fight of our time. People are standing in front of the biggest business powerhouses in the whole entire world and saying, "No, you're not putting it here.
Right.
You can put that shit over there. Put it over here." Because
Let's
we talk about the network, right?
Let's boil it down even simpler. All right, even more so than against oil corporations. Let's put it this way. This is humanity. This is society. This is people. The people are standing against greed, against evil, against an obsession with money and power. They are standing against everything that is oppressing us.
Yes.
And that's what's going on at Standing Rock. That's what Standing Rock started.
Yes.
That's what the Rainbow Prophecy is. It's the gathering of all people to stand against what they're saying is the black snake, which is the oil company. But what drives the oil company? Greed. What drives greed? Evil.
Money,
evil is expresses itself through greed. So what are the people doing? They are light expressing itself through the people. So this is literally, when you break it down to that, this is the balance fighting for. I feel like we've been in the dark, just over the edge a little bit to where greed has, for centuries. You know what I mean? And this is it, the light pushing back.
Right on. Yeah. We're always in a constant struggle, exactly, between dark and light.
Spectrum,
yes, exactly,
global,
and that's very
almost global. Yeah,
that's very. But the reason why I just call it oil is because oil affects every single thing that any person on this planet does at a single moment in time.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether you're the poorest person in India or whether you're the richest person in America, gas runs your lights, gas runs your car.
Yes.
It affects us at such a... So, yeah, you might be right. This might be the essence of that material, that dark shit, right?
Yes, the thing is it's replaceable.
And it's so easy.
And we know that
it could literally be done in a day.
So what is keeping it instead of... It's not people that's keeping it. It's greed. It's you know what I mean. That's where that's where you can play that the same way with an addiction. Like it's not the person, it's the drug. It's not the person at the oil corporation. It's the greed. It's the evil living through them. You can't blame them as a person. You just have to try to help them see it.
Fight this. There's got to be way. Like that's the problem we're dealing with right now.
That's the big thing that the tribes
on.
we're trying to express is like we don't hate, we love. We're peaceful.
Yeah.
Like it's not the police. It's not the person.
Exactly.
It's a job. It's a paycheck that they're there for. It's for their families, and that's what kept us peaceful. That was what they preached. That was what they preached to us. To
That's crazy. That's ultimate truth, man. That really is.
To find compassion for the other side and lead by example.
Yes.
Show them compassion even when they're showing you violence.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely,
yeah. Because and shit. This could probably even correlate to the recent presidential election. It was all about personal attacks. Like, it's you. And so now everybody who supports one side is labeled as this, and everybody who supports the other side is labeled as that. And we're all labeled and demonized and fucking names thrown and this and
that's
that.
how they keep us.
Exactly.
That's how they keep us
it's
under their control.
Like it's like you can like somebody, right?
Yeah.
You can like Kiss, and you cannot be an asshole. Like that's just a fact, right? You can enjoy fucking shooting a deer and you're not a bad person. Like that's just what you enjoy and that's what you like and that's a sport that you partake in. And people do not know how to express themselves because let's get honest with ourselves. We're mammals. We're monkeys. We're fucking monkeys.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying?
if you look at hunting as a they're killing an animal, but at the same time they are practicing something that, as without modern society, we would need to do as a people to survive. So they're practicing survival skills. That is instinctual as a human being.
Fuck, yes.
So as long as they're hunting a deer and then putting it to use, don't let it go to waste. Honor it. That's something that comes from a great book called The Prophet that I've been reading. To honor the things that you eat, the things that you intake, that you consume. Honor what you consume. So they're getting it for sport and it's fun and it's exciting. Well, heck yeah, it is. That's an adrenaline rush. Look at what they got to do day to day to live in society. They got to work this dead end job. So let them go get in some excitement. And then most of the time, how often you gotten deer jerky, venison jerky?
Not that much, but every time I fucking love it.
But
it's the best thing ever.
But usually when someone's got it, they're like, yeah, man, here, try some of this.
Yeah, they're not like, oh, it's mine. They're like, here, man, spread it. That's a community, right?
Yes, the community.
That's
so it's an
beautiful,
instinctual sport practice that leads to
community.
Yes.
So
and
legitimately,
so-
you had the fucking hunters and you had the gatherers and you had
Yes,
people coming together and
exactly.
bringing
So
the corn
it's
that they
still-
picked.
It's still.
Dude, yes, we've forgotten these things.
Yes, exactly.
100%.
Exactly. And you know what? It's been politics that have made us the divisiveness to where that hunter is viewed by the PETA or whatever. It's viewed by them as the enemy because of what politics and control and all that stuff has caused divisiveness. When it's really like, okay, if we didn't have all that crap in the way, it would be like, okay, yeah, we feel bad for the animal, but this is what we need to survive. It's not going to waste.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Everyone gets fed because without it we starve.
Yes.
You know, then it's like, okay, so how do we? I feel bad. I feel guilt. You know, the people that feel bad, or you know, how do I feel better about this? They find a way to honor it. They pray for it or whatever. You know, to say I am thankful. You know, I don't, and that's how you don't feel guilty.
To respect a kill, right?
Yes, exactly.
Because that thing lived and it's now making you live. Like, you know, it's just like a beautiful fucking thing. You know,
the cycle of life.
Exactly. And yeah, maybe we've forgotten about
and
that.
It's losing touch with that has created like vegetarians and vegan.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Well,
if you look at it, not necessarily for everyone,
Yeah.
okay, but this can be like that. Definitely not to each their own, but a lot of people, you know, they feel guilty or they're fearful of eating an animal. They feel guilty for taking another life. Because they don't have a way to honor it, because we're taken away from that. We're taken away by the grocery store and the butcher.
Exactly,
and all
it's
that
removed,
stuff.
right?
Yes,
food is
so,
removed, and food was directly correlated.
Yeah.
With the child growing up, right? It's like, I'm daddy, now you're coming with me, and you're going to kill this thing, and I'm going to teach you how to do it, because you have to do this to survive.
Yes, exactly.
You know, so it's very, very, very vital that father taught that child how to fucking kill its own meat.
Yes.
You know, and we go out there, and like some of, you know, when you go out there, I mean, like I said, like, I talked about this before. I think it was my first episode of my podcast. It's like, in some ways and in many ways before, you know, life is just too fucking easy. Yeah. So now we got all these other things that we can complain about. Yeah. But back in the day, it's like, dude, I gotta go fucking get some fucking meat because I'm gonna starve. I don't got time to talk about fucking social justice warriors or some shit like that. Like, though it's not be wrong, but it's just the fact that we've got so comfortable in our society that we find other shit to fight about because let's be honest.
We need drama. We need excitement.
We're a competitive race. And there's nothing wrong with competition. Right. But when you get it this out of control, it's like the dumb people that are out there. You know, in all honesty, they probably would have been eaten by something because, you know, they've been fucking walking around in the wrong place at the wrong time and they would have got their life taken away for it. Yeah. But, you know, nowadays, it's like, well, shit, everybody, you know, hey, man, we value life. And that's a good thing that we value life, obviously. Right. But there's some repercussions for every action that we have. It doesn't matter what it is.
By preserving, by lessening the natural selection of humans, I guess if you want to take it from that aspect. Exactly. And preserving life for too long. Not too long. Gosh, this sounds terrible. But...
It does, but if people misread us off, it's complete bullshit. They haven't been listening to the conversation. We talked about love the whole time.
Right.
You know, it's not like we're like, let's kill everybody.
It's allowed
we're just talking about the facts. Right?
It's allowed for the uprising of all this evil to be made because there's more people to control.
Exactly. And that's the whole fight.
And it's not that we need to thin out. You know,
no.
What we need to do is pull the fuck together.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Our numbers are there on an enormous scale to where we're barely the system is barely able to feed us. Yes. You know what I mean? So the system is barely able to support and provide for us. What's going to happen? We're going to take control and do what we have to do to survive.
Every time. And that's just a natural instinct of people.
Yes.
People are not going to be put to death by 1%. That's not going to happen easily, right?
And they're going to have to pull together as a community because there's going to be no other choice. If you're going to try and hermit and shut everyone out, you know, I mean, there will be people that do that, but it'll be a lot easier to get along with your neighbor than it will be to be
fight
stingy.
him and kill him. Exactly.
Not even necessarily that, just to not share. Yeah. You know, you can't do it. You can't do it all for yourself. You can't grow all your own crops. You can't catch all your own meat.
And that's what brought the people together in the first place.
Right.
Let's just hit that up in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, someone's got to do. Someone's got to tend to the garden. Someone's got to go hunt. Someone's got to do this. Someone's got to do that. So everyone's got to pull together in order for us all to survive.
Exactly. And maybe community has broken apart in the past like this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no, you know, you can, you know, try to fucking, you know, understand history as much as possible. But the mere fact of the matter is, like, we weren't there, so who the fuck knows, right?
Right. Yeah.
So who the hell is to say that maybe, you know, always civilizations have always risen and always fallen under this weight. This mere fact of like, shit, man, there's like 8 billion people in the world and like we only got this much grass left.
Yeah, exactly.
We gotta fight this guy. We gotta kill him. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I need to get that because I need to feed. Which is, you know, it's a primal instinct, but it needs to be, instead of demonized, instead of called a sin or say you're a bad person for it, it should be an essence of every person and the proper health of civilization to look at this and be like, yeah, that's a little fucking grotesque, and I wouldn't really approve of that. That's not moral or anything, but let's understand it.
Yeah.
Let's try to figure it out before that happens.
Yeah.
And that's what you have a lot of these guys, climate scientists, natural scientists. You have all these people screaming at the hills, hey, man, trouble's up ahead, trouble's up ahead. You gotta stop now. You gotta stop this now. And if everybody wants to keep ignoring it, and then everybody's going to fucking end up paying the consequences for it, now who's the real asshole? You know what I'm saying? Like, you had people warning you the whole time. It's just you weren't fucking listening.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And there's a lot of things from a lot of different areas, and from spiritual stuff to science stuff to just basic conspiracy, my own thoughts that a lot is pulling together now. That is like, it's coming to a point where humanity, the world, the humanity needs to prove itself worthy of staying on this earth. Or
we all feel that.
Or
we
it's
really
gonna,
do.
or it's gonna get rid of us.
That's not
and
even
it's gonna
a fucking
start
weird thing
again.
to talk
It'll
about.
always
start. The Earth is going to be here.
The Earth is gonna be here. We might not.
Exactly.
We need to take care of our
So
mother.
let's figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And if we can have a system that will figure it out, then we're gonna fucking figure it out for them.
Yeah.
And that needs to be understood.
The system's not going to figure it out because the system has no long-term repercussions. It only exists while we exist. The system doesn't see foresight. It doesn't see that when we don't exist anymore, it's not going to exist either. It thinks you know what I mean? It thinks we're always going to be here. It doesn't.
I kind of see what you're saying. I don't want to end it on a bad topic, but that's a deep fucking conversation.
Right.
Systems in itself are fucking deep. I mean, we can just take a quick example and not even disagree on the notion, but we see right now if stuff stays on the same course.
Right.
Intelligence that's a thing that if that doesn't get put to rest, that's going to fucking go way farther than we could ever imagine as humans,
well,
right?
The systems when I say systems, I just mean, the corporate greed, the government, the way that things operate now, whether it be a judgment day from like Planet X coming to, because that's one theory that I've read that's like, wow, that lines up on charts with like everything that's happening now. Not that I say that I believe it, but it's something like every 3,600 years comes around and it wipes the face of the earth off, and then the natives are talking about coming of the eighth fire or the seventh fire, and right around this same time is the day that we either get a chance to light a new fire and continue on to the eighth, or we don't.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So here's another example of some
the
kind of
mainability,
big change
right?
coming, and
exactly.
then it's like
the mere fact is we have a change coming.
Yeah, and
whether
and
you're
so
from whatever side of the aisle or from whatever religion, whatever teaching that is out there, we can all understand and really feel truly that there is a change coming, and it's going to come whether we like it or whether we don't.
And we got to stop it. I mean, it could be us poisoning all of our own water with oil if we don't stop this pipeline. That can be one example of the way that the things are going to change, or, like I said, the Planet X coming by and fucking whatever, it causes some magnetic force spin and massive fires on the Earth or some crap, like whatever the heck that is. I mean,
who the fuck knows?
Who the fuck knows? But right? Something's coming, and the natives say that we have a chance to save ourselves as a humanity if we pull together and unify. So, like, what the fuck? Let's get on it. Let's unify. Let's get this.
Let's get out here. Let's figure out the best
course forward. That was like the vibe. That was another common understanding between people at Standing Rock.
That's
was like,
amazing.
look, this is it, because if we don't do it, it's game over.
Exactly.
We're done.
And it should be. Yeah. And the basic primal of life.
Yes.
I could keep going about this all night. Man. I really could. I fucking love this conversation. I've had a fucking fantastic time with you. Let's just end on a positive note.
Okay.
We're all coming together as humanity.
Yeah.
The future's bright.
Oh my gosh.
Let's not get stuck in the bleakness of it.
Oh no.
Who gives a fuck about the president? No, I'm not saying we are, but I'm just letting everybody know, man. Hey, fuck that.
Yeah, no, we got wonderful things coming. This is such an amazing and strong and powerful movement that is like the positive driving force for the light at the end of the tunnel, coming out of all this darkness that we just talked about. Like, I've been seeing this and thinking about it and trying to figure out where the way that people need to go to get out of this in my own mind for quite some time, and it's like refreshing, and maybe that's why I'm on this positive up note where I'm branching out, coming out of this time of inner reflection, is because I see the hope, and I want to tell people about it. Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. And tell me anything about future plans with this, man. You want to come on again? Do you want to come on and talk?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, man. I'm down to like do this every week as long as I'm in town and stuff. I mean, I do travel a lot. I got some stuff
You
coming
got
up
a
here
place
soon.
that people can reach you, man, in case anybody wants to get out to you? Or whatever?
It's on my Facebook or my Instagram. I'm not gonna.
I can actually. I can put that on there.
Put a link
put that
on
in my
there.
description.
Okay, yeah, the link below.
It
At the
says
bottom of the video.
Dion. Come on.
Click down below and subscribe button. Like I'm thinking of what I see on YouTube videos. Yeah.
Call to action, motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's down there. My Instagram and my Facebook. It's got my art. It's got a lot of the No Dapple information that I've read through and seems to. I'm not guaranteeing that everything is 100% true that I share, but it seems to ring accurate with some of the media outlets that I do know are reporting 100% truth.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, man. I appreciate you not being all like, oh, this is 100%.
No, it just seems to be like what's in alignment. I try and make a judgment call on what is valuable information, what's fear tactic bullcrap. You know what I mean?
That's good.
And even if it may be a little bit misleading or such, it's putting the information out there that these things it's reporting
really thought about.
Yeah, it's reporting real events.
We can discuss that and we can talk about that like we are here, man. I said, I thank you for having on. You're a great artist. You're a good person, man. And
Thank you.
I look forward to what you're going to do and I want to be part of it. So.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on, brother. I really appreciate it. You want to say goodbye to people?
Thank you, everyone, for listening in. I hope everyone has a good holiday. I know they're coming up really soon.
Oh, boy.
And just do good, be good, love and light, spread love.
All right, man. Hey, I love you guys so much, man. Thank you for joining me. I hope you listen all the way through. This guy's a great man, dude, and I'm looking forward to the future, man, for both of us and for all of humanity.
We didn't even do introductions, bro. They don't even know who I am. I'm just this dude. I'm the mystery
Dude,
man.